May I start by saying that I am sorry for your loss. I was acquainted with your father many years ago. The world has lost one of its few remaining visionaries. Taking the loss in stride, are we? It would seem the Brotherhood has more pressing matters to attend to than a 20-year-old defunct project. Out of respect for your father, however, I will offer advice. What exactly do you need? Are you quite sure? I suspect that would be a waste of time. Regardless, the Brotherhood is not in possession of such a device. There is, however, a way in which we may be able to ascertain the location of one. Possibly. I'm afraid I won't be able to assist you directly. The news Dr. Lee has brought will require me to be elsewhere. I can, however, give you access to an old pre-war computer from Vault-Tec. It may have the information you need.
You'll find the terminal in the archives in the A-Ring.
Indeed. Farewell.
Hail. Quartermaster Durga here, stranger. I have to say, I'm not sure what you're doing in my armory. We run a tight ship, and unless Elder Lion says so, we don't trade with outsiders. Quartermaster out. You again? Was I not clear the first time? I'm under order not to trade with outsiders for supplies. These orders come directly from Elder Lions. You again? Was I not clear the first time? If you've got a problem with that, talk to him. Quartermaster out. You again? Was I not clear the first time? If you've got a problem with that, talk to him. It's locked for a reason. Don't get any ideas.
Rothschild wants a report on your tests. Have your results posted?
Power systems are 90% at startup, but are running at 37% efficiency after coming fully online. I'm looking into what might be causing the leak.
Very well.
There's a problem in the cooling system. I'm not sure what it is, but I'll take a look.
Very well.
I see. Well, what's your technical appraisal of the situation? There's been another behemoth sighted in the wasteland, in the Evergreen Mills region.
Hail.
That's heavy raider country, so things good. I saw that you completed your tests. What results are you seeing?
Power systems are 90% at startup, but are running at 37% efficiency after coming fully online. I'm looking into what might be causing the leak. Scribe Peabody?
In the wasteland, in the Evergreen Hills region. That's heavy raider country, so things could get interesting.
I thought as much.
Oh, yes, hello, I've heard about you. We don't get many strangers here in the Citadel, especially those who walk about unescorted. I am Scribe Bowditch. If you require something, simply ask. It's a rather sad story, I'm afraid. Last year, some of our soldiers had grave disagreements with the decisions of Elder Lyons. Disagreements spiraled out of control, and there was a schism in the ranks. The loyal soldiers practically threw out the dissenters. Now they call themselves the Outcasts. Where Elder Lyons has fought to protect the people of the capital wasteland, the Outcasts demanded we move on and leave them to their fates. They insisted there was more important technology to be recovered in a scientific base in the ruins of Fort Independence to the west. As callous as their decision may be, it's more in line with our original mission. Elder Lyons is an inspiration to us, but to them, he's a traitor. The soldiers rallied behind Paladin Kasdan, who was one of Elder Lyons' original squad. They served together for over 20 years. Kasdan was well respected and every bit as loyal to the Brotherhood as Elder Lyons. He just disagreed with the interpretations of our oaths. But when disagreements turned into fistfights, he left with the Outcasts. We lost more allies that day than we ever have to any battle. Lyons and Kasdan would have to agree to any sort of reconciliation, and that's pretty unlikely. They're both quite proud and stubborn. Me, I just wish there was a way we could all agree that at least we're still on the same side. There are bigger problems out there after all. As much as some of our soldiers would like to see them shot for deserting, there's not much we can do. We're too busy with the super mutants. Meanwhile, they're busy seeking out new technology and trying to get back in contact with the Brotherhood out west. So our paths rarely cross, but it's never pretty when they do. I just hope things cool down before it gets worse. It is a rather discouraging subject, isn't it? Why, a great many things. There are 3 orders within the scribes, you see, each dedicated to a different field of study. Of course, there's the Order of the Sword, Order of the Shield, and Order of the Quill. The Order of the Sword develops and maintains the Brotherhood's weapons. The Order of the Shield does the same for our power armor and defenses. The Order of the Quill is responsible for recovering and preserving knowledge, ancient and otherwise. I am Proctor of the Order of the Shield. I oversee the others in my order and make sure our defenses are up to snuff. Do you know how long it took to fortify these ruins? From the husk of the Pentagon, I carved a grand citadel. No easy task, my friend. Ah, but that was yesterday, when all we had to worry about was those damn super mutants. The Enclave, now, that's a different problem altogether. Let me know if you need something else. They're sporting some pretty impressive power armor, I'll give them that. The Advanced Mark II. But that's all right. With a few modifications, our own armor will more than handle anything they throw at it. I suppose that I can. The Brotherhood can make use of wasteland currency to trade. They're relentless, like nothing I've ever seen before. I honestly think they see our brothers in power armor as some kind of canned meal. Some of the pieces we've had brought back, men and women ripped in half, some pulled through their armor. Just horrible. Oh, yes, I can. In fact, I suspect I could write several texts on the various details of the Brotherhood. But I suspect you're in a hurry, so what particulars would you like to know? I'm afraid the answer to that is a lot more nuanced than others might suggest. Brotherhood members are sworn to acquire and protect technology of the past, but not everyone interprets these oaths in the same way. Elder Lyons sees these duties as part of a larger dedication to protect the innocent. Some, like the outcasts, disagree with these priorities. I like to think that I've still got some big achievements left in me, although some of my joints seem to disagree these days. I'll tell you what the lowlights of my time have been, though. Every time I've been shot at. I'm a scribe, not a soldier. It seems like whichever challenge we're facing is always the biggest one. Survival at first, then expansion, and now cohesion. We've seen plenty of wasteland freaks or would-be dictators. They're not too bad. At least we've faced that sort of thing before. But more recent events, like the schism with the outcasts, those are the problems that worry me. Okay. Anything else? Farewell.
Hail. Hail to you. By the traction of hospitality and on the word of Elder Lyons, I welcome you to the Citadel. I am Star Paladin Cross, Keeper of the Arm, and Seneschal to Elder Lyons. And I am honored to say I was acquainted with your father. Now what may I do to help you? I did, and you as well. Long ago, I helped guard the water purifier against the super mutant horde. When your father left, I escorted the two of you to Megaton. He was a noble man. I was saddened to hear of his passing. But from what I've heard, he died with honor. He died for you. I only pray that my own death has such meaning. And so our deeds are carried on through our sons and our daughters. Continue to remember him fondly. Continue to tell his story. And continue to do his work. Through you, he shall carry on. But now I must ask you a difficult question, if I have your leave to do so. I escorted your father across the wastes. It was the best I could contribute to his efforts to restore fresh water to the people. I would like to have the honor of escorting you in your journey to complete his work. But there is a problem. I cannot travel with you under the Brotherhood flag, given your current companionship. Perhaps return when you are alone, and I will tell you of your father.
What aid can I offer you, outsider? Steel be with you. Hail. Name's Greg. Greg Bear. Most of the guys just call me Kodiak. Heard about that mess over at the Purifier. Don't you worry. You're safe here. Hell, I do it all. Recon, demolition, tactical assault. Guess you could say I'm the Pride's jack of all trades. Now that's a story. The only reason I'm here is because of Elder Lyons. You see, I grew up in the pit. Don't suppose you ever been there, huh? It's about 500 clicks to the northwest. Place is a nightmare. 3 irradiated rivers coming together. People there were not well. But the Brotherhood of Steel came down on the place with a righteous hammer. They called it the Scourge. It was a Brotherhood operation. They marched in and swept the place clean. Most of the people there were half-mutated, cancerous, vile things. And these people, rape gangs, torture squads. It was pure chaos there. The Scourge is the best thing that could have happened to it. This was way back, before the Citadel was fortified. part of the early recon after the Brotherhood first arrived in this area. One night, a squad of brothers led by Paladin Lions swept into the city from over Mount Wash, tearing apart anyone who stood against them. They were completely outnumbered, and still they razed that place to the ground. As they swept through, the Brotherhood policed up every non-mutie child they could find. Turns out there weren't that many. Me and maybe 20 others. The younger we were, the less of a chance that we were mutated. It was ugly work, no doubt, but it had to be done. I'll never forget the sight of the Brotherhood of Steel breaching the breast of the mountain at dawn. Elder Lyons brought us all back to the Citadel. He said it was the safest place he knew of. This place was still being converted. He put us in as initiates and kept a watchful eye over us. He was tough, but he taught us to stay alive. The man's like a father to me. Nah, the amazing thing is Elder Lyons. He risked everything. So I do my best to serve the Brotherhood. I know that's what he really wants. In time, I'm sure you'll understand. Now, it's about... The rivers, even after the war, they were still flowing, but irradiated and filled with God knows what else. I saw things there I can't even begin to describe. I was only, what, 8 years old when I left? Hell of a thing for a kid to go through. Hell if I know. I never knew them. I lived on the street and fought with rats for food. All of them became initiates. Most of them went on to become brothers. A lot fell in action. I'm the only survivor of the Scourge of the Pit, still stationed at the Citadel. Normally, that would get you a crack across the jaw. But since you didn't know what the pit was like, I'll let it go. I still have nightmares about the place. 30 years and how many horrors later, and the pit is still the worst thing I've ever seen. It was ugly work, sure. Questionably moral? No doubt. But there was no other choice. That city had to go. Nah. The amazing thing is Elder Lyons. He risked everything. Went in outmanned and outgunned. I'll never be able to thank him enough. There's meat under that armor, and meat can be ground. Hell, I've killed more of those yellow Frankensteins than any other member of the Pride. Except maybe Gallows, those crazy solo night ops of his. Now, I see the Brotherhood's one thing, but the Pride, best of the best. Every damn one of us. Handpicked by Sentinel Lyons herself. Stand strong.
Hail. Glad to see you and that egghead Lee made it here in one piece. I heard what happened to that purifier. Hell of a thing. Me? Heavy weapons, miniguns, missile launchers. If it's bigger than a human and goes boom, I'm all over it. Man, I don't know. Fighting uglies is one thing, but we've never gone up against anyone that well trained or organized. Even their tech is better. Don't get me wrong, the pride's in it to win it. And I'll go down shooting if I have to. I just hope I don't have to. Man, nothing dies like an ugly. I once saw Colvin snipe the leg off one at 200 yards. Thing pirouetted like a figure skater. You, my friend, are talking about the most elite fighting force ever assembled within the Brotherhood of Steel. Each of us was handpicked by Sentinel Lyons herself. You can't even realize what an honor that is. Sarah defines combat excellence. Back to it. these Enclave guys?
Look, the Enclave has the tech. They have the resources. But do they have the...
What aid can I offer you, outsider? Talk to Scribe Jameson. She's our keeper of the scrolls. She'll want to know what you've found. Glad to be of help. What's been going on? Well, let's see. For years, we've been draining our resources defending the ungrateful residents of this no-man's land. Most of my best friends have either been ripped apart by super mutants or left to join the outcasts. And now an enemy we faced more than 30 years ago has resurfaced, and their tech is still better than ours. What's been going on with you? I can help with that. What do you need? You are currently in A Ring. Here you will find the Great Hall, the Lion's Den, and the Archives. Beyond this area is B Ring, quarters for the Knights, Scribes, and Elder Lions. Outside in the Bailey are the training areas and access to the Initiates Barracks. Other than that, down those steps is the lab. Be careful around there. The Scribes are touchy about who goes near their toys. You could say that. We have an old robo-doc. He's a bit creepy, but he does the job. You'll find him in B Ring. Well, any one of us would see Knight Captain Durga down in the lab, but since you're an outsider, you'll need permission from Elder Lions. Certainly. Of course.
A heart? I don't think so. We'll hold true.
Right.
Well,
right. Good point.
what's your technical appraisal? of
Hey,
this
that's what I'm
situation?
here for.
There's
Anyway,
been
we
another
should get
behemoth
back to our
sighted in the
duty.
wasteland, in the
Roger
Evergreen
that.
Mills region. That's
Well,
heavy raider country, so
What's your
things
technical
could
appraisal
get
of our
interesting.
situation?
Hail.
I thought as
Enclave
much.
troops have fortified the Purifier complex. With those vertebrates, they're able to transport personnel